This is Barbara
It's technically
Lewis.
not 1 o'clock yet, if you want to be accurate.
Okay.
10 seconds.
I'm guessing if it gets top, it normally changes.
That's true, we gotta be,
It will be, it's 1 o'clock.
Okay. I would like to call to order the afternoon session, the 1 p.m. session of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners on April 28th, 2025. And we have a matter before us that our fiscal director is going to discuss.
Thanks, Commissioners. Justin Navi, Director of Finance. Again, thanks for reconvening late in the afternoon today. We have 2 resolutions on for this afternoon. The first one, and I had sent prior correspondence on this, was a contract with Dynegy for electric supply. We actually got the final bids in shortly ago, based on the recommendations from our consultant, requesting to skip that resolution. Instead, the second resolution, all 3 contracts would be with Freepoint Energy, and I'll go into that when I give a summary of that legislation, if that's okay.
Okay.
Resolution number 25-314, in the matter of approving a customer supply agreement between Freepoint Energy Solutions and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners for electrical generation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Thanks, Commissioners. So recently I sent out an email to the board and county administration. We've been working on 3 different contracts for the electric supply. The first one that we're still recommending to go forward with Freepoint, it relates to our largest utility accounts for 90% of the consumption. And those include like the courthouse, Willis, Hayes, the Carnegie Building, and BDD. And then the second group of contracts is for smaller accounts with 10% of the consumption. And the third contract, it'll have a lock-in of pricing for 36 months for 50% of the supply. And then the balance 50% will be kind of earmarked to the market. What we did was with these cost estimates for each of the utility accounts, when I compare that to the utility bill spending from 2024, we're projecting about a 15.5% increase even with this bid process. So that equals about $346,000 going into the renewal period. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the board?
So it is a 3-year
It is.
price lock
Correct.
for the entire, you said some of it is going to be at market?
It is. So for the 14 accounts that have 90% of all of our utility bills for electric, 50% of that is locked in for 36 months, and then the balance is kind of floating based on market rates. And then for the other accounts where there's 10% of consumption, that's locked in for 36 months as well. So it's kind of a different structure, looking at most of the accounts that use most of the consumption and having part of that locked in and part of it market rate, and then for the smaller utility accounts locked in for 36 months.
This is just the generation portion of the electricity bill, though, correct?
It is correct.
Okay.
And it does not include some of the accounts that are on consolidated. So the Bixby campus, the electric, is on consolidated there.
Now, I'm going to have a question based on Commissioner's comment. Is 15% increase for the total utility cost or just 15% of the generation portion of it?
I just looked at simply the total utility costs. So our consultants at Site Our Energy gave us a budget estimate for like 1 year of utility costs under these new pricing. And when I compare that to what we actually spent for all these exact utility accounts last year, that's where the 15.5% increase is coming from.
Let me rephrase it just so we're on the same page. Our utility bill in my perfect world is $100 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Is it $115
It
now?
would be, yes, correct.
And that's,
So if it's 100, I'm sorry, if it's 115, then the increase on the generation is more than 15%.
I don't have that increase right now. I only looked at it like on the actual expenditure side. And I can prepare those
I'm
calculations.
just curious for clarity purposes.
Yeah.
no, I think you're correct. the total bill is going up by 15%,
Correct,
driven by an increase in generation costs. So,
Which is probably 30 or 40% then.
correct.
yeah.
which
And-
is-
And I apologize, I'm not an expert on this. We have our consultant with Sciota Energy here as well, Fritz Drake, in case, Fritz, if you had any comments you wanted to make as
I
well.
would just add one thing that, I think you said it was gonna go up by an
You need
additional.
to-
Fritz.
you need to-
Oh, excuse me, Fritz Drake, Sciota Energy. Justin, I think you said the cost was gonna go up about $346,000. Well, there is a component of every ratepayer's electric bill called capacity, and that accounts for about 20% of every bill. And capacity is, think of capacity as this way. It's like an insurance premium that you pay to be on the grid when the grid is maxed out at its hottest time of the year or coldest time of the year, that there will be room on the grid for you to have electricity provided to you. And the capacity costs have gone up from fiscal year 24 and 25. The county in fiscal year 24 and 25 will pay a total of $55,732 in capacity costs. In fiscal year 25 and 26, it will pay $410,630 in capacity costs. The cost of capacity in 1 year has gone up 8 times, okay? And no, you can't mitigate it, everybody's gotta pay it. Everybody pays the same rate. And that comes to a $354,000 increase. So that is really what has
So my
driven
point
up.
was, it's 15% on the total bill's gone up, so its capacity's going up, you said eight
Yeah,
times.
it's between 15 and 20% of your
And what I'm
bill.
about to say is going to come back to haunt me, but because AEP chooses to close plants, affecting capacity kind of makes this problem our problem.
Yeah, well, that, and, you know, there's all these data centers, and there's just all this greater demand, and the supply is just not there to meet it. And so what the increase in capacity is saying is build more generation. And we all know that can't be done
But when
in
you
a
take
year or two.
generation offline, you,
Excuse-
when you take generation offline, you
Yes.
make the problem worse.
Yes,
And
exactly,
that's on AEP.
yes. And so, you know, we'll be in this kind of period for a while, you know, because it probably takes 5 years to build a plant by the time you.
Catching up.
Yeah, so, so really, the increase of 346,000 can all be pointed to as the capacity.
The
It's all-
kilowatt hour for generation then is really not changing much.
Not that much, no. It's that one component that is driving all of it.
Now, is that 15% increase, is that over the life of the contract, over the 3
Okay,
years?
so we only know what the cost of capacity will be. So the new higher capacity rates go into effect June 1st.
Every year they change?
Only for the next year, and then there will be a new capacity price. Now, we don't think it's gonna be any higher. We don't think it's gonna be that greatly lower, but we think it's gonna be lower. So I don't think you'll be looking at it, certainly a dramatic increase like you have this year.
Okay.
Okay, so, and so the capacity price is determined by an auction. And the auction, and traditionally PJM, which is the grid operator for 13 states, including Ohio, they usually have auctions, and the price of capacity is for 3 years based on that auction. Well, they've screwed around the last several years and didn't have auctions, and then they had this one last summer, and, you know, they blew the roof off it. And so they're in the process of having another auction, which we will soon, hopefully, know what that capacity price will be beginning June 1st of 26 to May 31st of 27.
Will that go up then every year?
No, the capacity price, no, it
Yeah.
shouldn't go up
Okay.
every year. As I think just stated, it should hold pretty close to where it is now or go down some. We really don't anticipate it.
But to Commissioner Lewis's point, it is adjustable every year.
Yes, correct,
So
it
it
is.
could go up.
Yes, yes, it could go up. We don't anticipate it going up, but yes, to answer your question, yes.
Wow, what entities does this affect as far as governmental entities, like entities, other counties?
Oh, it affects,
It's-
capacity affects all of us, residential ratepayers, counties, municipalities, yeah, the whole world's affected by capacity. And, you know, I don't want to make light of this, but out on the East Coast, they're paying even more than we are in the Midwest. So, it's something that
Right.
I had hip replacement surgery last July 23rd, and on July 31st, the capacity numbers came out. So I spent my recovery trying to notify my clients, hey, this is coming down the road. I don't want to wait till you get your bill next July and say, what just happened?
Okay, no, thank you for your
It's
expertise.
interesting, I would
Any
have
other-
thought the generation rates would have gone up, but they're relatively
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, that's something I really can't answer. I could ask
Yeah.
my boss, who
No,
is
that-
more,
no, that's fine. I was-
is more, certainly, he lives and sleeps and eats this. I'll ask him why that's not the case, and I'll relay that back to Justin.
Good.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay. No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help. Wow. Not only is it shocking, it's difficult, very difficult for people to understand.
Yeah. It's gotten a lot more complicated.
Yeah, it's,
And there are a lot of factors at work, and
right.
demand being a
And-
big one.
Commissioner Merrill, gentleman mentioned too, data centers.
Yep.
Anyway, okay,
Call a vote?
call for the vote.
Vote on motion 25-314. Mr. Benton?
Aye,
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye,
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
thank you.
thanks, Justin.
Any other business?
We have no other business. We are